All right, Mark Schmudde is in the house.
Yeah. How you doing, Rich?
I'm good. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good.
All right.
Hanging
Good.
in there.
Yeah, like I was saying, the last time I saw you was at Old Town in Orlando, Florida. You thought I was living in California. You were living, I think, in Chicago, and then out of a fluke, we ran into each other.
Exactly.
What are the odds?
That was such a surprise.
I know. I actually saw behind you taking the photos, and I said, I ran to catch you. I said, I think that's my buddy Mark because you're so tall.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm at that. So my dad loves going to those car shows, so I was there. He enters his car into the show all the time. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
What's he have?
He's got a 1980 Golden Zimmer Spirit. I don't know if you know, it kind of looks like a Duesenberg. It's white. I've posted YouTube videos.
Okay.
So let's you're such a unique person, what you do, and that's why I definitely want to have you a guest. We met
thank you.
Yeah, we met almost 20 years ago with one of my films, Insanity, I think around 2002.
Oh my gosh. I didn't realize it was that long ago, but yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I was shooting a period piece in the city, and then I needed a makeup artist to make, obviously for makeup, because I wanted to do all these different things. We had a shootout, and I definitely wanted to hire an unbelievable makeup artist. And I found you. I can't remember how. And what was interesting is you and my cousin, who's an editor as well at the time for Broadview Media, always worked together. It was a fluke.
Yes, I know. I forgot about that connection. Yeah.
What was interesting with you is you came to meet me even before we ever did anything. I said, I'm going to be in Chicago. I got to go. I'm looking at locations. And you said, where are you looking at? And I said, here. You just kind of popped up. Like, remember you were, and then I met you there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I hired you. And
yeah.
So let's start with you. How do you end up becoming a professional makeup artist? How did this even begin?
Well, actually, my parents took me to Universal Studios back when I was younger.
Orlando or California?
It was California for that one.
Okay.
And I got to see the behind-the-scenes special effects stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that got me really interested in it. But I've been to both Universals and seen all the cool stuff there. But that got me interested in doing makeup and special effects. And I went to school for art, and then I brought it up into makeup and special effects stuff too.
So you went to school for that specifically?
I went to Columbia College in Chicago, and I took all the makeup courses that they had. They actually created a couple classes for me and one other student because we really wanted to do everything in the makeup field there.
What year is this? Going back to the 80s, late 80s, early 90s?
I was there 91 to 93.
Oh my goodness. So Columbia, that's an amazing school in Chicago. Who taught you then? If there was only a couple students, who was there to teach you?
His name was Tom Eula. He was a makeup artist in the Chicago area. He always played Scrooge for the Christmas Story.
Oh, okay.
Or Christmas Carol, I mean, at the theaters.
I got you.
But he was an awesome makeup artist, and he was our instructor for the whole thing.
And how many years were you there?
2.5.
And then where'd you go to?
I ended up moving to Orlando in 1994, and I went to the Joe Blasco Makeup Center in Orlando there.
I got you. Those are the pictures I've seen in the past.
Yeah.
So from there, did you work for Universal Studios for a while?
Technically, I did work for Universal. Yes, I was there for Halloween Horror Nights.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I didn't actually get to get in as a makeup artist. They already had somebody.
Yeah.
So I was just a character. But
I gotcha. Hey, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes, yeah.
In Orlando, it's competitive. People don't realize,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you were doing Halloween Horror Nights.
and then that ended, of course, because Halloween was over.
Okay.
But I also worked doing scenic work. So I was working on different sets and stuff like that in Orlando. And so I did that for a while. And I got to work at some of the different studios like Universal. I got to do some work at Disney MGM. And then I actually got in with Disney in the park, and then
Yeah.
also got into Disney in the scenic shop. So it was kind of funny. If I worked in the scenic shop, I had to take a leave of absence from Disney to work
Okay.
at Disney.
I got you. Were you at Magic
But
Kingdom, you're saying, or at MGM? Which one?
I was at MGM. I ended up being an attractions host at MGM, and then I got into the scenic shop at MGM also.
Oh, I
So
got
it
you.
was working two different things. So some weeks I actually managed to somehow do both.
That's crazy. So
Yeah, it really was.
how many years did you do that?
I was in Orlando for 2 years, and then it seemed like all the work there just dried up.
Yeah, now you're talking the, what is this, the mid-90s when they still had the studios there, correct? And they were doing some
Yeah,
production?
I was there 94 to 96.
Right. And then because people were still, we even had an office there with my entertainment lawyer when I was doing my films. I was filming in Chicago, but our offices that we shared with him was in Universal Studios.
Okay.
They took a lot of those studios, as you know, and they made them into for Halloween Horror Nights, haunted houses, or they turned them just
Right.
literally into office space. Uh,
Right.
because they used to shoot their Superboy, they Swamp Thing, if I'm not mistaken, as far as series goes.
They also shot Sequest there.
Oh, Sequest, right. And then that all dried up,
Yeah.
which is quite interesting. A lot of things back then started to go actually back to Chicago a little bit, Toronto, and many other areas.
Yes.
And then Georgia kind of took over really in the, in the last decade or whatever you want to say. They've really made their mark.
Yes.
So you left Orlando. Where'd you go to from there?
I went back to Chicago.
Okay. Now, what were you mainly doing? So that's where you, I think, hooked up with my cousin at Broadview Media at that time.
Probably,
Right?
yes.
And
I was doing both. I was doing makeup and doing scenic work. So whatever, I was just freelancing. So whatever I could get, I would take.
when you say scenic, you're talking about set decoration,
Set
backdrop.
decoration, doing backdrops for a TV show or whatever, or a film, or just backdrop in general um, for a restaurant or something like that. Doing mural work, doing specialty paint work.
Do you know my cousin Angel Fedigato? I'm going to actually be doing a podcast with her. Do you know her at all? She does a lot of set decorating for a lot of the shows.
Not offhand, but I would definitely like to.
Yeah. I got to connect you with her. And then my Aunt Kathy Fedigato, she's one of the top hairstylists for all the shows too. She's been in it her entire life.
Yes,
She was
I
the
do
one.
know of your Aunt Kathy. Yes.
Oh yeah, she worked with me with you. She was doing the
Yes.
hair. That's right. So
Right.
a lot, not a ton, but a bunch of my family members grew up in the film industry. My cousins, including Angel, my cousin Joe's still a painter. My uncle, some of my other cousins still do hair for the films. So, I had the Credidio family who was wonderful. Johnny Credidio, he was like my uncle. We used to go visit the sets
I'm
when we were
familiar
young.
with him too. I've worked
Yeah.
with him too.
Yeah, so that's actually my aunt married in our family, and that's her brother. So the Credidios, and I grew up with her sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so right by Austin and Roosevelt, the studio. That's the family.
Yes.
That's them. And then I grew up with Johnny and Joey Credidio, great guys. I even went to school with Joey. We both went to St. Joe's. So, the hell am I doing? I'm talking about myself here, but anyways, you ended up bouncing between, if I'm not mistaken, some of them studios, right? Or working
Yes.
there.
I got to work with the Credidios on a couple things, and then it just kind of dried up with them.
Yeah,
And
it's
then,
hot and cold
yeah,
at times. You know, the film industry there. Right.
oh yeah, I know. It's kind of ironic. I moved to Orlando because it was known as Hollywood East. I got there and all the stuff went back to Chicago.
Yeah, tax incentives, and I even went back to Chicago to do my films, and they were. It's hot here, as you know, Florida. I think
Yeah.
it just wasn't its time. Georgia just picked up steam, and they've really been rolling with it. Again, I'm not. I have a close friend of mine, Mark Simon, who has his own production company there. One of my writing partners, I did a podcast. Vanessa's there. She hosts the Women's Horror Film Festival, which is really picking up steam. I think they're on their third year.
Oh, cool.
You can connect with her as well. I just did a podcast and posted it yesterday. But now you went back to Chicago. I know it had its, ups and downs, obviously. Were you ever going to Toronto or anywhere else for work?
I never got to go to Toronto. I've been all over. I've lived in Wisconsin. I've lived in Indiana. I've lived in Illinois. I've lived in Florida. And I was actually just recently trying for LA and couldn't find anything that I could even remotely afford. And the fire broke out while I was there. And then I went to Atlanta and just got back about a month ago and found a place. I was trying to get a place and get a job, and I couldn't get the place because I didn't have a job, and I can't get a job because I don't have a place.
Right. Yeah, the film and television industry. This is kind of what a lot of it's about. People think it's all glamorized, right?
Right.
But you've really been more of an independent artist. You never besides working at the parks, but you never went and tried to really go the studio route? Because I did independent films. I never went the studio route, obviously. But why did you not try going the studio? Or did you try and you just...
Oh, I have.
Okay.
I have, and a lot of them have their own people.
Sure.
So it's not like they are just looking for people. They either have people that come in for the shows that they use. So, it's like when they film a certain movie or show, they bring their own crew in. So it's not like they actually needed another person there.
Sure. Yeah, I was fortunate enough to connect in Chicago with some who was involved with SAG and AFTRA and who was working at the Chicago Film Office. They were wonderful to me. And
awesome.
I tell people a lot of times, film students, even my daughter, if she wanted to go to film school, I go, truthfully, you're going to have to probably go to LA and start at the earliest time possible, but it's really about networking, right? Because if you go to school there, you all graduate, you kind of can even intern, you can kind of funnel your way into different areas where, say, for instance, someone like you go to school in Chicago, you basically, you know what I mean? There's only so much work being done there, right? I'm just saying. And then where most of the work was, I'm not saying it's all being done in LA or New York or wherever, Georgia. But if you can start in a place where you can grow and mainly intern is what I'm trying to say, or start making those connections when you're younger at a place where there's tons of work being done, I think is the key to a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
You were kind of an outsider in Chicago trying to make it in LA or Florida, right? After you get your degree, it's hard to break in because like anything else, you're an outsider.
Right.
So what are some of the projects? Now I see you're always, because Chicago's still doing a lot of filming with television. Obviously it's slowed down now because of Corona.
Right.
You seem to be doing some acting or some stand-ins, some fill-ins, some extra work.
Yeah, I've been doing extra work on the Chicago shows. I've been on all of them. I've been in some of the movies that have been shot here lately. I love it. I love being on set.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can't get on set one way, I'll get on set another.
Can you go through, because I don't watch any Chicago shows, even though my cousins, like I told you, my aunt, a lot of family members work on them. And I get to visit the set when I go there sometimes. Because first of all, there's 2 studios still, right? What's the Greek guy that I talked to? What's the Greek owned one? What's that called? The big one.
Cinespace?
What's it called?
There's one at Cinespace. That's where they film most of the Chicago shows. Yeah.
Right. And then there's Credidio Studio. What's that? Chicago Studio or Studio Chicago?
Studio City.
That's right, Chicago City. Yeah, because we grew up going there. My grandmother lived right behind there on Monitor Street, literally one
Okay.
block from there. So what I was going to say to you is, what shows, just if someone's listening to this, I know there's so many shows, but what is, I don't know the name of all of them. I used to know Chicago Code,
Okay.
but didn't that get canceled? Or am I behind in the times? There's the fire one.
The ones I've worked on are Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, Chicago PD, and they did one season of Chicago Justice, and I worked on that one a lot. But the last 2 seasons, I've been a fireman in the house, in the firehouse there.
Okay.
So, or if they shoot at Molly's or something like that for a, like an after work kind of thing, I've been an extra in there. So it's kind of cool because I know I'm going to the set. I don't have to go to some location somewhere. And pretty much, well, at least when I'm in the firehouse, I know what my uniform is because they have it for me.
Right. What is somebody getting paid to be an extra right now in Chicago? Or what is it? You're not involved with the union, are you? Or because when I had extras, I didn't honestly pay them.
No.
So what do you get, a flat rate, and you got to be there
It's
for 12 hours a day? I don't know.
It's a flat rate for 8 hours and time and a half after that.
And usually you make your money after time and a half, right? Like
yeah.
Most. And then it goes double time, if I'm not mistaken, if it keeps going?
I've never been there that long.
Okay. I gotcha.
I've worked on Empire a couple times, and we did 17 and 18-hour days. But there's still stayed time and a half at that point.
My cousin Angel, the one I'm going to do a podcast, what I was telling you about, I went the day before Thanksgiving. We were in town. I took both of my daughters to Cinespace. Is that what it was called?
Mm-hmm.
And she took me on a private tour. She's like, come here, because we were watching. I liked that show when it was first coming out. So my daughter really loved it. So she took us on a tour through it, right? So first the show was ending. One of the Chicago shows was shooting. We all ate together. We had like lunch together because do you know Robert Doherty? He's another one who does the catering.
Okay.
So he's like my cousin. So we went and had lunch with that crew, and then she took us on a private tour through the Empire nightclub because it's built right in there.
Oh yes.
The tunnel and all that. But they didn't know we were in there, and they shut the studio down. We got locked in there, and they shut all the lights out. It went pitch black. We had to put our phones on. We're laughing. She had to call security, and security came. Then they apologized or whatever. And she says, oh, no, we'll get the hell out of here. I was going to show my cousin the whole studio, but I said, no, we'll get out of here. But it was really amazing. That's a really cool
Oh yeah.
It's amazing. It's huge, all the sets, and then they were showing all the different rooms of Empire that they use.
Yeah. I would love to get to take a tour there and actually get to see more of it,
Yeah, it was really cool. It was, I got to say, if I ever go there, you got to meet up with me, and she'll take us, wherever the hell we want to go in that place. They're wonderful there. And
let me know when.
My uncle's like the Greek president of the Greek Council. So he's very good friends with the owners of the studio. And I've even had conversations with them as well when I was going to make a feature film. I ended up not doing it there, but they were very gracious and very kind over there. If we didn't do it at Cordillo Studio, it was either I'd probably go with my family, but
right.
if they were booked or whatever the case may be, we couldn't work it out.
Right.
So what are some projects makeup wise? Like, I'm going to get into some other stuff. I'm going to ask you about body art, body painting, because that seemed like one of your specialties, right?
Yes.
But before we get into that, what films or TV that you've done makeup on, what have you worked on?
I've done a bunch of independent films. I've done, let's see, Time Served. That was actually through Cordillo.
Okay.
And that was a prison movie. We shot that in and around Joliet in Chicago.
Okay.
I worked on a movie called To Kill a Killer.
Okay.
That was also shot in and around Chicago area. The Coroner, several other independent little feature things.
Sure.
I just did makeup on a movie called Invictus.
Okay.
I did some special effects makeup on that. and that's actually hopefully going to Sundance,
Oh,
assuming
nice.
things can happen at Sundance.
Yeah, that's true. It's a ways away, so you may be safe on that one, I think.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Well, that's cool. And like I was just going to bring up, or like I mentioned earlier, you do body art. Is that for what do you do that for? Festivals, events? Because you have these women and guys, but a lot of women I know that are full nude. They're nude,
Right.
and you do the body art for them. How'd you get involved with that? And obviously, I probably know why you got involved with that. But why did you took on that endeavor? But I see you doing different events for people. Is that for what is that for? Festivals? What is that?
I actually got into it for photography.
Okay.
I got into it because it's art, and doing body paint is actually making living, breathing, moving art.
Yeah.
And it's really kind of cool to see something literally be alive and move around and be able to walk and talk and whatever. And but it's artwork.
Right.
And I've done some events at some clubs. I've done some things for photo shoots, um, different things like that. And I love doing that. I really want to be able to do more.
Yeah, that was it seemed like that was a really hot trend for a while. I don't see it as maybe they're still doing it, but for a while it seemed like magazines and a lot of things were
They're
really
still
looking
doing
for it.
it, definitely.
Yeah,
Mainstream media just doesn't use it too much just because of the nature of what it is.
sure.
But it's still very popular.
Of course. And you also do photography, right?
Yeah.
That's one of your passions as well. What do you do with a lot of your photos, or what are you doing with that besides, just taking photos like everyone else?
I'm starting to do shoot. I've been starting to do shoots of my own just because I enjoy it. I've worked with a lot of different photographers and had opportunity to kind of learn as I go along. And also because sometimes I hate to say it, but I'm guaranteed that I'll actually get pictures if I shoot it myself.
Right, of course. Yeah, because I even saw you
And
taking
not to
pictures
say
at the
that I
car show.
don't.
Oh, what'd
Yeah,
you say? Go ahead.
I said not to say that I don't get pictures all the time from different photographers, but sometimes I'll come up with a shot or something that they wouldn't have done and have something totally different.
Yeah. And I saw too, like sometimes you can duplicate certain art. So like say Avatar, that picture that you did of those people, like you created Avatar, which
Yes,
is amazing. What did
yes.
you do that for? Like where was that at? Is that just your own personal thing, or is it for Halloween? What's you do? I see
No,
you.
actually.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I just see you do a lot of
That
specialty things with people, and I don't know, is that an event again? Is that a festival? Is that a convention? What are all these things? Because you can duplicate things amazingly, right? Like Avatar
Thank you.
or
Yes.
characters.
Well, the avatar was actually done to promote my model friend and me, to just get it out there and look at us kind of thing.
Right.
And it kind of has made a talking point, that's for sure. People do talk about the avatar.
Oh, that one's amazing. What about some of the other ones you've done? Who have you done? I've seen a bunch, but you tell me from film
Um,
or TV.
Nothing body paint for film and TV really, but like I said, it's mostly photography stuff.
No, I'm
Um,
sorry. I mean characters that you've done. So you've done
oh,
Avatar.
oh, oh.
I'm sorry. What other characters have you mastered?
I have done the makeup of the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland.
Gotcha.
I've done Cat in the Hat. I've done Puss in Boots. I've done Edward Scissorhands. I've done
That's crazy.
Uncle Fester from Addams Family.
Right.
A lot of different characters like that. Just fun, different characters. Just to do something fun and creative.
Yeah, you know, Mark, I'm gonna tell you, I've always, as long as I've known you, you're just always such a like an honest guy. With the situation you were in, you never tried to, you know, you come at the industry from an honest approach, right? The struggles, the
Hmm.
ups and downs, right? Uh,
Yes.
you know, you're honest to talk about that, is what I should say, because I think a lot of people try to hide, and they're not open enough to try different things and evolve. Like a lot
Right.
of, maybe a makeup artist wouldn't want to be a stand-in that day or be an extra, right? you
Right.
you truly love the industry of entertainment. I think you love makeup, photography, cinema photography, set decoration, obviously, and everything in between. You're really loyal to that industry,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I mean, more than anyone else I know, to a certain degree. It, as far as how would an independent makeup artist, because most guys wouldn't survive the way you did, and
Right.
I think you deserve a lot of credit for that. Honestly, I'm not just saying that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
I've seen your struggle over the years, and even me, I had to take a long break. I'm like, I can't. I got exhausted from the industry. People don't
Oh
realize
yeah.
how the ups and downs emotionally that it takes, and also the finances that it takes. And people, I think everybody in the industry makes a ton of money, when that is far from the truth.
Oh, that is so far from the truth.
The struggles, I mean, everybody struggles in their life, but it's just a very competitive industry. And even someone like yourself, who's very talented, who could do very unique things that most people can't do, it's still not easy to find a job or be consistent in that profession.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Because how many years have you been in it now? So,
About 25.
Jesus, what's kind of the next move for you? So you're talking about coming to Georgia. What's
Um,
what do you think the future for you lies? I'm not even, besides the coronavirus, put that aside, but I'm just saying in general in this business, do you think you could keep going the way you're going and survive, or?
I think I need to actually get something more serious going. One of my things that I wanted to do is work at Universal in makeup department,
Orlando again
and
or LA?
it would probably be Orlando. Yeah.
Okay.
But the problem is I don't know exactly who to try to contact on that.
Yeah, I used to know a lot of people in the industry. A lot of them leave, as you know, they evolve, they go to corporate, they just disappear, right?
Right.
Because some of my close friends used to be the original Beetlejuice there, and then he actually, a good friend, he went on to manage In Sync. I'm just using for an example. Even like Joey
Really?
Fatone,
Oh wow.
Joey Fatone used to work at Universal Studio. He was Werewolf. My close buddy Joey Pizzani, who's hilarious, worked at Universal for years. He left, but a lot of people is very transit the park industry, regardless of
Oh yeah.
what level you're on, you know, where you're at.
Right.
If you're, I'd have to look into that for you. That's,
Yeah.
I do think I know. I think I might have a couple connections through them. Um, but that's, like I said, it's very. I'm just not in. My step aunt used to be the #1 water skier in the world, and she started the water skiing thing in SeaWorld in Ohio. And then when she moved it to Orlando, she was like the top skier there. She's in Jaws 3. So I was able at a young age to hang out with her at
Oh
SeaWorld. And
wow.
she knew everybody in the industry. Disney, Universal didn't exist at that point in time.
Right.
Cypress Gardens did. So she would bounce between Universal and Cypress Gardens. But I think eventually, the thing, my friend was Tarzan, right? At Disney. He was
Oh
unbelievable.
yeah.
Okay, well, I think went to Hong Kong, but he was unbelievable athlete. And people, as you know, a lot of times in Orlando too, if they get a certain type of job, they don't leave it, right? And then there's somebody always in
Right.
line that's been there a long time before you and before you that kind of want to go in that. He went, like I said, to another country to become Tarzan, even though he was just as good as the Tarzan in Orlando, right?
Right.
But there's waiting list, as you know, for certain. I mean, they audition you and stuff, but
Oh yeah.
it's so competitive. And again, it's kind of who you know. So
Exactly.
it's a lot of these people who are lifers that have been in this industry for 10, 20 years, all buddies, and they bounce between all the parks doing different things. And maybe if you came here and you were just more consistent, maybe stayed longer, maybe, I'm just saying. And
Right.
would work out better for you.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've,
man.
I've lived in Orlando before. I love it there. I love the weather.
Yeah.
Here we have our seasons are different here in Chicago than you get in Florida.
Yeah.
We still have 4 seasons, but we have winter, still winter. Yes, it's still winter and construction.
Yeah. You're not kidding. Yeah. And Orlando's changed. I don't know when the last time you were here. I think the last time I saw you may have been like 5-7 years ago. I can't even remember, but
Last time I was there was 2012.
there you go. I didn't even realize it was that long ago, but it's really had a huge explosion the last 5 years. But now with Corona, I have no idea what the future of these
Oh yeah,
industries are going to be in Orlando, especially when you're dealing with thousands upon thousands of people, 75 million tourists coming here. I don't know how they're going to even keep the parks clean, how they're going to, I don't know how all that's going to work now. I don't know if
I
they're
know,
going to,
seriously.
yeah, are they going to regulate how many people can actually come in? All those different types of things I think are going to maybe
One
change.
person at a time.
Who knows? Who knows? All right, man. Well, thanks for being a guest. I definitely wanted to get your voice out there. And if people, where can they find you? I know Facebook and all that stuff, but
Well, my website is www.marksartisticcreations.com.
oh, that's awesome. Yeah, you got to check his stuff out. I mean, you do some amazing things. And you, like I said, you're a lifer. You've put so much time and effort into this industry on so many different levels. And you're talented as hell, man. I think you're like like a lot of people I know. You just need that break, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
If I
truthfully.
can just get the break, I can run from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're so willing to be taught or learn or talk about the opposite of a prima donna. You will start on the bottom and work your way up,
Exactly.
right? You're not
Yes.
some guy that has all these different issues or whatever. All right, my man. That's all I got for you. Thanks again, man. It's great to see your
Thank you, Rich.
face. Talk to
Great to
you.
see you too.
Yeah. Maybe we'll run into each other. Like I said, you come to Orlando, you let me know. I'll check.
Okay.
Stay on top of me regarding that Orlando stuff.
Okay.
I don't know who I'd have to really research that because, like I said, that one's a tough one. But when I come to Chicago, I'm usually just drowned with family members, friends, and I just get slammed. It's really hard when
Oh,
I'm
I,
there.
I understand totally.
So that one's a tough one. But yeah, and I'm going to, if you want to go on my Facebook, look up my cousin, Angel Fedigato. She's on there and hit her up and hit her with a message and say, she's wonderful. She'd love to connect with you. So,
Okay.
all right, brother. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you very much, Rich. I appreciate it.
No problem. Take care.